Welcome back to today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Ray Guo. We will continue this very interesting and fascinating conversation with Professor Li德財, who's currently the president of the National Zhongxin University, also concurrently the deputy director of the Taiwan e-learning and digital archives program. Professor Li, we understand one of the missions of the digital learning and e-learning and digital archives program is to make Taiwan the Chinese e-learning center of the world. What are the strengths, that we have in making Taiwan such a center for e-learning Chinese, and then also at the same time with the rise worldwide, phenomenon that this rising interest in learning Chinese, how can we take advantage of the ongoing interest in learning Chinese?
Yes. Yes, as you know, the mainland China has become so powerful, economically so powerful, and with its 1.3 billion people,
yes.
Chinese-speaking people
yes.
there, and with so many people, foreigners worldwide here wanted to invest in China, so it has become generally a trend or a fashion to learn, as you said, to learn Chinese. It becomes so popular. So there were about, frequently about more than 2,500 universities offering in some 100 universities, in some 100 countries offer Chinese learning. So this demand is there. Of course, China here took this opportunity and established more than so-called more than 150 Confucius Institute in the world.
Yes.
Try to, this is as an example, to allow the foreigners to learn Chinese. Of course, Taiwan here in this aspect here, because we have really better ICT technology and the built-in online tools with this digital archive and e-learning program there, we are in a position. So we wanted to become so-called a hub of digital content for the Chinese market in Asia Pacific region, and we set up this so-called Huayu learning center. It was set up by this this overseas compatriot affairs commission.
Yes.
They set up this program here. Of course, right now in last year, in 2011, National Science Council, or in fact the Council of Cultural Affairs, wanted to launch this Taiwan Academy. Taiwan Academy so basically initiated 3 sites in the U.S. To begin with. One in Los Angeles, in New York, and the one in Houston. So I was in Los Angeles looking at visiting one of this e-academy there. So the main emphasis there is to try to establish this e-academy, or Taiwan e-learning and digital archive program, participate in this and then contribute a lot of those materials, contents to it, and hoping that this would generate yet another wave of this Chinese learning there, and hopefully we can establish, as you said, a global e-learning center for Chinese with this ICT support behind.
Okay. Professor Li, in addition to your rich administrative experiences, you're also an expert in computer science and information technology. During the digitization process of the program, have you come across issue or issues on information technology security problems that you need to take into consideration? Because some of the archive materials are very valuable, certainly has a lot of historic significance, and then how would you then try to preserve and protect these materials being digitized and also put on the internet before they are hacked into by some other security person?
Yes, you said it very right. This is a very, very difficult issue. With the advancement, of course, with the advancement of networking and multimedia technology, the use and sharing of make copies, the duplicate copy and sharing of the digital content is very easy, very easy to do. If so, the infringement of the multimedia content becomes an issue, an issue. So that's also what makes the National Palace Museum, for example, hesitate in putting reluctant to putting their content online. So to sort of cope with this difficulty, we have to really employ certain technology into it. For example, we sort of embed this called a watermark in these images. Watermark, of course, this is supposed to be invisible watermark. There are technologies there available there to sort of embed those watermark into the images. So you cannot really see them, but then there's the technology to uncover them. So when you see a digital image here online here, you can download them, and then using our technology, if this is a true one, we can actually sort of extract the watermark to see whether or not it is original, authentic one. So digital technologies are available there to protect the copyrights of the images. Of course, we have the images and also even the video too. So we develop technology. But the technology aside, the legal issues there. For example, how do you keep track of all those content there, making sure that they are all authentic?
Yes, right.
So this is present a tremendous problem, not just for us, I think for all people who are producing this concept. So security or information security is an issue, but mostly, I would say, they become the legal issue. So that's why we have sort of the legal staff there to help us trying to help resolve the issues. So when they in fact, when we carry out this project, I think the difficult part now is to make sure that they have the right. They have the right to make them available online because they don't want to be sued, especially they are public civil servants, right? Civil servants, they are really afraid of being sued. So, so we have to. So one of the projects that we help them do is the so-called clearance, the IPR, Intellectual Property Rights clearance project. They have to really do an inventory of what they got, who has the right to do what, and so on. So it turns out that if, for example, if you get a licensing agreement from the owner of the real object, physical object here, it doesn't mean that you can digitize them and then disseminate online. So that in order to do this, because of the advancement technology, it brings out yet another facet of problems there. So we have to deal with it. So this, as you said, this is a very, very complex issue, and then the technology itself cannot really resolve it. And this must be faced by all nations, not just Taiwan.
Not just Taiwan. And in the process, I understand you probably need to take a lot of patience and a lot of explanation to the owner of the original document, for example, or the donor of the original photographs. But have you encountered difficulties, for example, a very important piece of document because of the original donor only wanted to donate it to a particular museum or institute and does not want to be digitized, but it is, it would have been a very integral part of your exhibition, of your database. Has that ever come across?
Yeah, I think this problem does happen. I think it does come up. But what troublesome is that the institution here was not able to find the owner of it. They cannot identify the owner. That's the most difficult part. In that case, they cannot really do it. Do it online. Of course, Google and YouTube, they do it in a different way. They say, they put them online nevertheless. By the time when they receive the protest of something, and they will just remove the offline. That's how they do it. Because as long as, I think the key is, as long as you don't do it for commercial purposes. Most people really will not object to it, will not pursue that. So that's why when we create this project here, we say, now the value not only for the commercial value of when you do a value-added application to it, you have to seek the licensing agreement. But other than that, for academic issues or for academic use, they don't really care. So we follow this so-called Creative Commons licensing model.
All right. Finally, for this part of the program, Professor Lee, we understand that the government has put a strong emphasis on cultural creativity industries. How does your program help the development of more culturally creative ideas or projects for Taiwan?
Yes, in order to basically create values, sort of commercial values out of the digital content, National Science Council basically started this so-called bridge project, doing matchmaking, because some of the content we made available here are not really accessible, or accessible meaning through Google, for example, search engine to find it. So it by the commercial sector, because they use different terminology than the scholars. So we have to, even if we bridge object, we have to set up this sort of mapping of the technology, of the terminology used there. So we have set up platform for them to do search, use the keyword search to get the items there. So bridge project is one of the projects here that would help the people, cultural creativity industry. This is one of the objective of this mission.
Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to more ways that your program can really help our industries here. We're going to take the final break on our program, and when we come back, we will try to wrap up this very interesting conversation with Professor Li Decai, who is currently the president of National Zhongxin University and also the deputy director of the Taiwan e-learning and digital archives program. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the final part of today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. We will try to wrap up this interesting conversation with Professor Li Decai, who is currently the president of National Zhongxin University and also the deputy director of the Taiwan e-learning and digital archives program. Professor Li, let me ask you a little bit about the experiences that you have heading the program of digitization for very important archives and also museum materials. What were some of the more memorable moments or experiences over the last 10 years or so that you have been involved in the program?
Okay, there's this is a long endeavor. I think I participate in this for more than 10 years now. More than 10 years now. As I recall, one of the occasions, I remember in 2008, I gave a keynote speech at the award ceremony sponsored by the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation in Germany, because I was given this Humboldt Research Award and was asked to give a speech. Supposedly, I should give a speech on my specialty, information computer science. But I thought because the recipient or the audience is very diversified in background, so I chose to present our National Digital Archive program to them. So. And I basically, in one of the segment here, I present a project done by National Taiwan University, featuring they call it a bird DJ. They have a collection of local species of birds with different sounds, chirping sounds. So then I just on the screen, this is a video clip, right? So I clip this one here, on this bird here into the center stage, and they would have this chirping sound. Not only that, of course, with this thing here, they will have the information about a particular species of birds, right? So they can also do this thing here, make them into putting different birds into this chart here with background music. So they call it bird DJ, and they would play the sound, everything. So people were laughing, were so impressed by this. Funny thing is that how impressed I take an example. A year later, when I attend this annual event, annual conference, the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, they have an annual meeting. The president of the Humboldt Foundation, remember the year before I was talking about this and they introduced me to the president, then President Horst Köhler of Germany, that, this person, Li is from Taiwan, and he was talking about this thing here. So it was quite a memorable moment for me. So it's good. When I did this presentation, I didn't really have that intention in mind, but then somehow audience or even president of the foundation remembered it. So this is something I find that's quite rewarding when we did something and people remember it.
Yes.
This is something I would consider quite memorable.
Yeah, that's also another breakthrough in terms of raising Taiwan's international visibility.
Yes. This is one of the intention there too, because I wanted to present our project to the worldwide audience.
Yes.
Yes.
And Professor Lee, you have been engaged in the project over 10 years with new technologies now becoming available. Of course, the digitization process will continue, and you're bringing in younger generation of college graduates and also staff members to participate in your program. And would you think that the younger generation will share the similar vision that you had when the program was first conceived over 10 years ago?
Yeah, I would certainly hope so. Of course, with this program, this theater program officially will coming to an end with the end of 2012.
Oh, okay.
This is a national program that has to end. But then, as in common practice, after the end of this national program here, they would have a so-called phasing out period. In fact, we are right now planning a follow-on project for this TAIWAN there. And of course, in the course of this program here, we basically have trained lots of people. There's people with different specialties, and certainly I believe that those youngsters or those students, grad student assistants, they would have already carry up the technology. In fact, during the course of this project, we have documented many sort of SOPs, the guidebooks, and all the things for them to follow and everything. So I would imagine that they should be able to carry on this the mission or the work here, even without us. We have to really give them give them the work to do.
Right?
So
yes.
Yes.
But I'm sure that you will remain active in the digitization field, and also you can continue to offer your valuable experiences to the younger generations when the time comes.
Yeah.
And Professor Lee, over the course of your career, that you have been a professor, educator, and now you're administrator of a very important national program, and also at the same time you have you concurrently the president of one of the leading national universities in Taiwan. And given all these different roles that you have performed in your career so far, which one do you like the best and why?
Yeah, I think everybody has his own follow its own footstep, right? Footstep here. Basically, when I came back, I was in the United States for 25 years before I came back here and returned to Taiwan in 1998 as a researcher and also as an administrator at the time. Here, I was director of the Institute of Information Science. But then after this tenure of this administrator here, I didn't expect to become a president of a national Zhongxun University. But then, well, I did. So I became the president last year. So of course, from a researcher to an administrator or the president of a university, I think the view is very, very different. The context is very different now, because originally I was the head of the institute in computer science discipline. Now I'm facing all different fields, different colleges. So I said that the university is a small image of the whole entire society. In fact, I was once in a meeting. I told the audience, told the people that the deans, everything. I said, from Academia Sinica to university here. It's like it was like I was driving for example, a BMW, and with this is auto, right?
Yes.
Auto shift. Then I come to this place, Japanese place, just like now I'm piloting. I'm a pilot of a plane.
Yes.
I don't know when it would take off because it's still on the ground moving. And although I think the technology is such that you can do autopiloting, but the problem is that, there's so many lights coming up, right? Occasionally, here and there, and you don't know what's going on, what happens. That's how I feel now in this position. So I found that being a president here, I found it quite challenging, and also I feel the experience memorable because I would have the opportunity to face the students, and then training of capacity building of students, next generation is one of my aspirations.
Most rewarding.
I find the most rewarding process. I like it, and hope that I can be a good president.
Okay. Yeah, you're certainly very modest because I was there recently on your university campus. I certainly was very delighted by what I seen and what I able to come across. And finally, for our program today, Professor Lee, would you, as an expert in computer science and information technology, be concerned about the widespread of the internet, the use of digital information, that maybe in the future the younger generations will be completely dominated, or their thinking will be replaced by what's available on the internet, by what they able to Google on the internet, and instead of having an independent thinking ability to make their own judgments?
Yes, this would present a problem. Problem if people do not think, then they would make it for themselves. They would definitely make use of all the information available online. Mm-hmm. But that would be a troublesome, a problematic because the information is so tremendous. If you do not have the thinking or analytical ability to make distinction between right and wrong, information is information or this information, misinformation.
Yes.
You have to be able to tell the truth of it. So, but for those who do think, this will be technology will be fantastic because they will be providing very good tools that complement, and you can actually be home and then have access to all the information available online. That makes your learning process is much faster, not in the past. For example, we have to go to a library to do it.
The current catalog.
That's right, that's right. So information is there, so it really depends on how you actually make use of information. So that's why when I come to Zhongxun University, I basically emphasize the ability to learn independently. You have to really be able to learn independently and to know how to make use of information.
Okay.
So as I would say, advancement of the technology goes so fast.
Right.
The knowledge you gain today may be new today, but become common sense tomorrow. So you have to really keep learning.
That's right.
Keep learning is something you have to know.
That offers the perfect motivation to make personal growth and progress.
Yes,
thank you very much,
that's
Professor Lee, for being our special guest on the program today. Want to wish you all the best in the new year and in all your personal and professional endeavors.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching our program today. I'll see you next time on MacroView Television. Thank you.